Hello guys, in this video we'll see how to install ArcSight ESM in distributed correlation cluster mode. Eight months ago I have created and uploaded here on YouTube the part 1 video about how to install the ArcSight ESM in distributed correlation cluster mode. Um, Unfortunately, part 2 was never released. That is why I just decided to create a new fresh from literally start until the end video, which will help rookies become pros. With distributed correlation, you can configure and you can deploy multiple instances of correlators and aggregators on multiple nodes in a single cluster. The multiple instances of correlators and aggregators are simply running as individual services, and basically they distribute the correlation workload across these services. So you can configure the multiple services to run on several machines, which basically are going to be called our nodes in a distributed correlation cluster mode. ESM2 and ESM3, for instance, are going to be our nodes, which where we'll have our correlators and aggregators. And as well, on top of that, we'll see some other services like the message bus control, the message bus data, the distributed cache, the repo, as well the persistor. The persistor is usually running always on node number 1, like in our case, this is ESM1 or the master node. It's called literally persistor. Okay, so let's start here with the installation. Slowly, we're gonna start with the PuTTY session. So, taking a look here at the network configuration, I just want to make sure that it's all set properly. And let's do just more etc sysconfig network -scripts. Okay, everything looks alright. This is the IP address of my ESM1. We have the gateway. Alright. Okay. Let's see hosts. Yeah. Here you see ESM1, ESM2, ESM3. Basically ESM0, this is where I have already deployed and already installed ESM, but in compact mode. Okay, and let's check out here the firewall. Okay, the firewall looks active. I'm gonna have to disable it, so to stop the firewall D. Okay, let's take a look now to see the status inactive. Okay, so there is one way, or as well there is another way of checking this. If you do firewall -cmd and then list -all, yeah, it will appear that the firewall is not really running. Okay, let's see the Red Hat release. Make sure that you're using a compatible version of CentOS or Red Hat. In this particular case, you saw the one that we're using. And yeah, what's next? Let's go under the software directory. This is where we've got the installation files. And then under ESM 720, okay, here we've got the tar file, so the ArcSight ESM suite 7.0.tar, and yeah. Okay, we gotta of course extract. We gotta untar the tar file. Before that, of course, we want to do chmod. Okay. +x, and then ArcSight ESM suite bin and then the version. Okay, so let's go tar-xvf and then ArcSight ESM. Okay, there is one particular directory which we are interested in right now. This is the tools. So we gotta go under tools basically. And then prepare system.sh. This is basically a script that we're gonna run, which is going to prepare the operating system for the installation of ArcSight ESM. This preparation consists of opening the file size limit, the max user processor, and as well creating automatically a new user account called ArcSight. So I'm gonna reboot now. And with the help of Hollywood, we've got now our server rebooted. I'm just joking, I did a fast forward, but yeah. Did you saw this directory under opt called ArcSight literally got created automatically after running the script, and not only that, but as well the ArcSight user became automatically an owner to that directory. Okay. If you want furthermore, just to explore some of the changes which were made, you can do like me right now, just to see that as well. Yeah, those values have been updated right here. The soft and proc, the hard, and so on, they got literally changed after running the script. So instead of you going here and manually modifying this, those got automatically changed. Okay. Now let's do chown -r ArcSight and then software, just to make sure that we are owners of all those files. So we gotta go under ESM 720. You can do ulimit A as well if you want, just to explore, just to make sure that the open file size has the following value and as well the max user process limit. But yeah, like I said, let me just check my firewall because I've restarted and I believe that the firewall, yeah. Okay. Let me stop it because this is important. The installation will fail otherwise because the ports are not open, and during the installation it requires a lot of ports to be opened. Okay, so let's go under here under ESM 720. Well, and now we have the ArcSight ESM suite.binary file which we're gonna run, which we're going to execute. Let's run the installer. Just make sure that you are using the ArcSight user and not the root user. This is a prerequisite. This is something that is very important. If you're basically using the root user, the installation will tell you that you gotta use another user account, and that the root user is not really allowed to perform the installation of ArcSight ESM for security reasons. Okay, this is the AULA, the end user license agreement that you have to read, or just press 21 times the enter button, and then we're just going ahead with where would you like to create links and so on. We gotta you can do option 1 or option number 4, whatever you like. Whatever best suits, let's say, whatever best works for you. Now here the installation of ArcSight ESM has begun, and just to save a little bit of precious time, I'm just going to do a fast forward because this is literally taking around 5 minutes. Okay, and here we are. Press enter to exit the installer. We're not done yet. Basically, we gotta run this this script, let's say, this command that it's given to us. Because like I said, we're not done yet with the installation. So just copy it and paste it. In this way, you're sure that it's error-free. And yeah, let's take a look now. This is the actual configuration wizard. Choose your language, English, French, Japanese, simplified Chinese, and so on. And then you see now compact or distributed mode. Now in our case, we go for the distributed installation and we're going to start a new cluster. So I'm just putting 0. ESM, here we've got some ports that we gotta define the lowest ESM server port, the highest ESM server port. I'm simply putting an enter right there. And yeah, now as you can see, I'm putting some passwords. The password for the core engine, the password for the database as well. This is the place from where we are configuring the storage in terms of storage groups, how much space do you want to allocate to your storage groups, for how many days, for example, you want to keep events in active state, 30 days and so on. So all those things are configured right here during in the beginning of the installation. We got to provide a name. Actually, this is for the notifications, excuse me. So ArcSight ESM basically sends notifications under certain conditions, under certain situations. Basically, the rules engine, whenever it gets triggered by the incoming events, it can send some automated notifications. So this is the place where we're basically required, let's say, asked to specify an email address for the error notifications and eventually who is gonna be notified. About the license file, make sure that you have a valid license file of ArcSight Enterprise Security Manager that as well supports the distributed correlation type of installation. Give the path to your license file. So my license file is under software, and then with the actual extension, which is literally .zip, and I'm putting it, as you can see. Run the manager in what mode? We're going to run the manager in default mode, not in FIPS mode. Then specify the host name of your enterprise security manager. So in our case, this is going to be esm1.acme.com. As well, the user account that you want to configure. So administrative user account, I'm simply putting admin, and then the password. You need to provide a password, and then just to confirm it. Do you want to integrate Transformation Hub? Do you want to integrate Investigate, ServiceNow, and so on? I don't have them currently right now, so I'm skipping them. I'm saying no, no, no 3 times. And here all we gotta do is just to pick like a package, literally in terms of foundation package, ArcSight Resource Bundle package, with which we want to deploy, with which we want to install our Enterprise Security Manager. So I'm gonna say 034 because I want the content management, I want the threat monitoring and threat intelligence platform packages to be as well deployed and available. And then select optional services to configure on this server. I'm not putting neither a 0 or 1. I'm simply putting an enter there, okay? Because later we're going to configure them. And that's about it pretty much. Now all we have to do is just to give some time to our ESM1 / to our persistor node to install the software. I'm gonna do a fast forward. So here we are after the fast forward. Basically, we're at the end of the installation, and yeah, do you want to continue? Yes. Now, as well, something important which is mentioned, the root user must run the following script in order to set up the required services. Okay. So I'm going to do this now. Opt ArcSight manager bin setup services.sh. It's literally taking a couple of seconds. Okay, let's go ahead now and let's check the services of our ArcSight ESM manager. You can do etc init ArcSight services space status. And then this is what we've got. So most of the services are unavailable, but that's normal. I mean, we're not done with the installation yet. But the most important ones like Repo, the PostgreSQL, and the MySQL services are available. Now, in order to continue with the installation, we're only going to need the Repo service to be running. So the Postgre and the MySQL, even if you want, you can turn them off. You can literally disable them. So yeah. Let's move over to our ESM2 and let's continue with the installation. Login as root, type in your username and the password. Let me try to ping ESM1 just to see whether if it's reachable. Make sure, yeah, that there is nothing blocking the communication between the two servers. Not only between ESM1 and 2, but as well ESM1, 2, and 3. All of them should be able to communicate and to ping each other. All right. So yeah, let's just making sure as well that the date here it's correct. Okay. Let's see as well the firewall. Okay, we gotta turn it off. We gotta disable it, just like we did earlier. Let's go under the software folder. So cd software. Oops, sorry. CD software. Okay. Well, yeah. Here we've got the ESM 720. All right. This is ArcSight ESM suite. Yeah, I'm going to chmod. And then I'm going to enter the tar file. All right, perfect. I'm going to do the same in the meantime while I'm restarting with my ESM3. So exactly the same steps, nothing changes. Okay, and finally let's see here what happened with our ESM2. Okay, it got rebooted. So all we gotta do is just to run the binary. Before that, chown. Yeah, ArcSight software. Oops, actually I'm not under software. So let's go under software, LSLA, ESM200, change directory, ESM ESM 720, excuse me, and yeah, here we've got the ArcSight ESM suite, the bin file. Let's run the installer. Oops, actually I'm logged in as root, which is wrong, so I'm just gonna do quit. My bad, my bad. I'm going to change the account to the root user. And here we are. Okay. So the installation has initiated, has basically started. Okay, press enter to continue. Basically 21 times enter, 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 enter. And then just Y. Okay, once again press enter. Do you want to create links? No. Let's go ahead here. Yeah. I'm gonna do a fast forward once again. Or actually, without doing the fast forward, you know what? I can minimize and I can do the exact same thing with my ESM3. Because one way or the other, we have to configure as well ESM3. So instead of wasting time and just waiting, why not just open up ESM3 and do the same thing there, right? Okay. And now we can do a fast forward. Okay, and yeah, looks like it's okay. Looks like the installation is done. So press enter to quit the installer. Let's go ahead and let's run the exact same thing that we have executed earlier on our ESM1. Now that's easy. We know what we have to do, right? Not a big deal. English, distributed mode. Not starting a new cluster, by the way, because we have already started a new cluster, but right now we're going to say adding to an existing cluster. So all I'm going to ask you to do is just to press on 1, and then what? Oh yeah, just specify esm1.acme.com. This is the host name of our persistor node. Okay, distributed cache or correlation. For now, we're not going to configure any services. So all I'm gonna do, I'm just going to press on enter and just continue with the installation. Okay. And once again, yes. Continue, enter. All right, perfect. Basically, we gotta do the exact same thing with our ESM3 now. But just before that, of course, we gotta make sure that the services are all set up. So we gotta run the opt ArcSight manager bin setup services.sh. Okay. Oh, sorry. I gotta log in as root. So right now I'm logging as root, and again the same. Why not copying it? It's much easier. Okay. Yeah. This is taking literally 10-20 seconds. And we should be ready. We should be okay now. Right, perfect. Let's do the exact same thing on our ESM3. Not going to waste your time, so I'm just going to do a fast forward. Okay, so after doing the exact same thing on my ESM3, right now I'm under ESM1 and I'm going to run one casual check of the ArcSight services using the status by node, just to see the different nodes. So this will show us clearly ESM1, ESM2 and ESM3. Basically ESM2 and ESM3 now should be also visible. And indeed, do you see? We see them literally saying available right next to them, which is great. Yeah. Okay, I will stop, or actually, yeah, let's do the SSH setup. By the way, this must be executed as an ArcSight user. So switch user, ArcSight, and then just run the SSH setup command again. Okay, enter the password. I'm going to type it quickly. Checking on firewall. Right, let's just wait a little bit. Okay, so I did a fast forward here because I had a little trouble as well with one of the firewalls on the different nodes, node 2, and yeah, I just disabled it and then it went through. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's do yeah, etc init the ArcSight services, and then let's do check check SSH. Okay, that's great. Key-based, yeah, passwordless SSH has been set up for ESM2 and ESM3. This is what we were trying to achieve. All right, so let's go under opt ArcSight manager bin, and then ArcSight cert admin, and let's do approve all. Okay, now let's type in the password. And yeah, here we are, approved. You can see ESM server. That's great. A very quick check of the services once again, ArcSight services, and let's do status by node. Okay, that's great. So ESM2 and 3 appear as available. That's great. Let's go under ESM2 now, and yeah. Well, right now we're under yeah, software. Actually, ESM 720. We're under this location. So let's do opt ArcSight manager bin, and then ArcSight correlation setup. Let's start setting the correlators and the aggregators for our ESM2 and ESM3. Yeah, basically this must be executed as an ArcSight user and not as a root, so be careful. Okay, so the wizard starts here. What do you want to do? We want to add a correlator first, add and configure an instance, add a new instance. Okay, correlator 1, this will be literally the name of the service. If you want, you can change it, of course. And then, yeah, physical location, host name, all this information you can specify it. Java heap size memory, 16 gigs. Self-signed key pair is going to be the option that we're gonna use. Validity of this self-signed key pair, yeah, it's going to be 1 year. I'm just typing here some random stuff. Organization, state, etc. Country. You know how it works. Are the values correct? Yes. Okay, once again the password. I'm going to type it. The SSL key. Okay. Continue. Yes. Perfect. So now we've added one correlator. Now let's go and let's add one aggregator as well. So ESM2 will run one correlator and one aggregator. Plus as well, we'll see some other services a little bit later, like the message bus and the Dcache and so on, and Repo. Okay, so we're simply repeating the same steps, except the fact that right now we're not going to replace with a new self-signed key pair, but we are just going to say that we want to use the same, and that's it. Okay, so ESM3, the same steps, same process, nothing changes. Opt ArcSight Manager bin ArcSight correlation setup. This is the script that we're going to run. -I console. Make sure that you're logged in with your ArcSight user, not as root. Add configure an instance. Add a new instance. Okay. Same steps. Everything is the same. Nothing changes here. Type in the password, the SSL key store password. Continue, yes. And now we need to add one aggregator service as well. Okay, add a new instance. Great, so I'm done with my changes. And yeah, we've added one correlator, one aggregator for each one of the nodes, worker nodes, ESM2 and ESM3, right? So previously we were seeing them like this only as available. Now if we do status by node, they should appear as well, the newly added, you see, aggregators and correlators. So that's great. That's great. Let's go ahead and let's see now the message bus. So yeah, I'm going to open my putty1 session. I mean ESM1, excuse me, ESM1 session, right? The persistor node. And let's try to do opt ArcSight Manager bin and then ArcSight space mbus setup -i console. It's very important. You see, it's very important before you continue to stop all services except the repo. So let's stop our services of ESM. So this means that the PostgreSQL, the MySQL, they should be all stopped. Only the repo needs to be running. This is mandatory. This is very important because it might fail during the installation of the message bus control and the message bus data when you're adding the services to the nodes. Okay, so I'm going to stop all of them now, and then I'm just going to start the repo. Only it, literally like manually, right? I'll do a fast forward because this is taking a lot of time, so it's pointless to wait. Here we are with all services stopped, unavailable. So I'm just going to do now etc in the ArcSight services and then just start a repo. This will take again some time, so I'm going to fast forward. Actually, it didn't take so much time, literally 10 seconds, so I didn't do a fast forward, but still. Okay, let's do a very quick status. All of them should be stopped and only repo should be running now. This is well mentioned, this is part of the guide, so if you go ahead and if you read the installation guide of ArcSight ESM, all those steps, everything that I'm doing are literally explained and they are there. So this is not something that I'm inventing or creating by myself. All those are prerequisites. Okay, so everything is unavailable, and let's go and let's run the message bus setup -i console. I want to add, delete or change message bus instances. Let's go ahead and let's press on 0, then continue. Number of message bus data. Okay, I'm going to put here a number of message bus data instances that I want to run on my nodes. So 1 on ESM1, 1 on ESM2, and 1 on ESM3. Message bus control, same thing again. On ESM1, ESM2, and ESM3, we're going to have on each one of them. Yes. Are the values correct? Yes. And yeah. That's it. If you continue, the new message bus services will be configured. Okay. That's great. So let's say yes. And then, yeah, just continue. Okay, I don't want to make any further changes, so I'm done. I'm going to press 3 and then continue. Yes. Perfect. So we've set it as well, the message bus control and the message bus data for our nodes for ESM 1, 2, and 3. A quick status by node. Just to verify this. And voila, they're all here. The message bus control and the message bus data have been added under each one of the different nodes. So now they're part of the cluster. Okay, that's good. After the message bus control and message bus data, we have something else. We have the distributed cache and the repo. Actually, let's do first the repo. In order to install the repo, we need the MySQL and the PostgreSQL to be running. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. I mean the installation, the adding of those instances. So that's why I'm starting now manually the MySQL and the PostgreSQL. If you don't start them, you have some troubles. So both of them should be available. Okay, that's great. Let's do status just to double check. Alright, so you can see that MySQL and the PostgreSQL are both available. Good, good, good. Next, so the repo, right? Opt, ArcSight Manager, bin, ArcSight, Repo, Setup, Setup I console. Now option number, what is this? Option number 2. Actually 1, yeah. Yeah. Select at least one running instance of repo in the cluster. Okay, basically we have the repo available in our ESM1, but now we're going to say 0, 1, and 2. This way we're going to add ESM2 and ESM3 as well. Okay, this is taking a couple of seconds. Very soon it should be done. Okay, yes. Clear. Let's do status by node just to see the repo. Actually, yeah, we have a problem because okay. Okay, I'm going to run this later when all services are up and running. Okay. Now the last one is the dcache, the distributed cache service. Actually, before that, you know what? Let me start the service. Let me just check if they're going to become available. So in order to do this, first let's stop and then start only the repo. So I stopped all of them. Literally, you can see that all of them are unavailable. And now I'm just starting the repo. So the repo on ESM2, ESM3, and ESM1 will become available. Okay, it's done now. So let's do one status by node. And let's take a look and see the situation. Okay, so that's great. Repo 2, Repo 3 and Repo 1 are all running, all available. This is what we were as well expecting. Now we can finally proceed, we can finally do the distributed cache, opt ArcSight, and right now we are on ESM2. I don't know if you saw, but we're no longer under ESM1. We're going to do this locally, individually for ESM2 and ESM3. So the command is the cache setup -i console, and again here add a new instance, just like when we've been doing the correlators and the aggregators. The process is pretty much the same again. Add a new instance, add configure an instance. Okay. And now same thing on ESM3. Just follow the steps and yeah. It's a, how to say, straightforward, right? Nothing hard. Okay. Add configure an instance. Add a new instance. Perfect. And then option 3. Actually 2, sorry, finish. Now on ESM1, so switch again, go under your persistor node, opt ArcSight manager, let's do bin and then ArcSight, cert admin, approve O. Type in the password, the certificate administrator password, and here we are, approved ESM, yeah, clients. It's all good, right? ESM2 and ESM3, they appear here, the worker nodes. If you want to do a little check, you can do as well opt ArcSight manager bin, and then ArcSight cert admin status. Sorry, list. My bad. So you can see the approved ones, which we are currently using for ESM 1, 2, and 3. Revoked eventually if you're about to issue a new certificate and so on. There is a procedure, there is a process of revoking the old ones and so on. This is something that I can cover in another video, but usually this is how it's done. So if you have a new one, or let's say that those have expired, so 1 year has passed, you need to generate new ones. Those need to be revoked and then the new ones need to be applied. But yeah, ArcSight services, let's do start all in order to start all the services in the cluster, and we should be okay, we should be ready. I'll do a fast forward because I don't want to waste time. And yeah, now all the services should be up. So I'm doing now status by node, and here we are. Yes, ESM1, ESM2, and ESM3, all the services are available, up and running. Let's do a quick check opening up the ArcSight command center. This is the browser-based user interface of ArcSight ESM. In order to check this, we type in https :/ and then the host name, the name of the server basically, which in our case is esm1.acme.com. Make sure that on your Windows server you have added your host names under hosts here. So yeah, mine is here, ESM1, so it should be resolvable. The browser should be able to resolve it. Okay, your connection is not private because we haven't because we're using self-signed certificates and the browser doesn't have a trace, we need to upload them eventually. But that's fine, that's okay. I'm typing the administrative user credentials. So in my case, the user that was called is admin. And then we have cluster view. Do you see here? Cluster view, which clearly shows our cluster and the 3 nodes that are running the different services of ArcSight ESM. Basically, the master is our ESM1, or the persistor node. Let's call it persistor node. The persistor has a different pink kind of a color, and then the ESM2 and ESM3 have a little bluish kind of a color. Each one of the different services as well should appear in green. This means that they're working properly. They're not down. They're not unavailable. And as well, from here you can take a look. There are events reported by each one of those. The back pressure mode and everything. If there is a lag or if there is no lag, those are all important stuff that you as administrator you must consider, and you need to always take a look on. You can monitor, you can trace things here if there are some problems. You have the legend as well available, where you can see that what different objects, what different colors mean in terms of ESM and this cluster view, which is available now in the command center. And yeah, that's all. If you enjoyed this video, please spend a minute to subscribe, like, share, and of course comment if you have any questions. In this way, you're really helping me to grow my channel and reach more ArcSight professionals out there. So thanks once again for watching.